Anpu has awakened! Yeah! Okay, so Anpu is awakened. Now what? What gear is he best in? How can we build him? And how can we make sure that we are finding the best possible gear on our account for our most important heroes? That's what we're going to discuss in this edition of Eternal Evolution. My name is Akbar the Buffmaster. Let's get into the video. Okay, so build. Pretty much everyone and their mama knows that Anpu should be in a surge set because of his AoE damage. But what kind of stats should we be looking at? What we're going to see in this video is that really that depends on the evolution or the progress of your Anpu. Where is he at? But one thing is for certain, the most important stat is attack. Okay, attack needs to be a high priority versus something like a Jaina. Jaina, you need to make sure you have Jaina at 200 accuracy. This is the build that I took from her. And then you go building attack and crit rate as much as possible, but to have that 200 accuracy to have consistency in her damage. But here with Ampo, now this is mine because mine, oh my goodness, mine is not a 7. How sad that Ampu is one of my favorite all-time heroes, perhaps my favorite all-time hero, and he's only A1. And other people in my guild already have A7 plus Ampu. Oh my goodness. But that's the life of free to play. What can you do about it? So here I have 50.9k attack, almost 51, with just over 200% accuracy. For me, at this moment, 200 accuracy is the sweet spot. We're going to see as you progress that continues to be the case. Um, Before I got tempered gear, 150 accuracy was the sweet spot for whatever reason. That's what worked out best. But we're going to see that you can run your Ampu with 100 accuracy or even less later on. But again, this depends on the progress of your overall Ampu and how much attack you're going to have or lose in favor of that accuracy. Okay, so if you are not A5 yet, just stack as much attack as possible and then whatever a accuracy is viable according to the gear that you have. If you are a 5 or more, then you want to start giving priority to crit rate as well to take advantage of that potential. Now, how much crit rate do you need? If you're going to be a 7, once you hit a 7, then you get 9% crit rate from your potential. And if you can manage to get something on your commander, that drops it down even less. So realistically, you could probably get away with 70% crit rate as long as you are a 7 or a 6 is when it will start. But for just comparison's sake, we're going to keep it here at 81 with 41k attack and 200 accuracy. This attack for me is too low for Ampu. Again, this is from Jaina. I was playing around with this. I can get it up to about 44 to 45 with 70% crit rate, which is helps, but not amazing compared to what we are going to see. Okay, now we're going to take a look at a couple of screenshots of Benzo's Ampu. Benzo is the monster in our guild. You're going to see he has amazing gear on his Ampu, and the damage results are reflected in that. Okay, so let's take a look at his to see an optimal high-end Ampu. Okay, so this is Benzo's Ampu, and if you're ever wondering when you're on this screen and you look on at the numbers, what these numbers represent, well, the numbers on the right are the numbers from your equipment screen. So we were just looking at my Ampu and on the equipment screen. So if you were looking at Benzo's equipment screen here, it would show on the equipment screen 1.4 million hit points, 55.2 attack, 81.9 crit rate with 134 accuracy. That is what it would display on the equipment screen. And that's pretty bonkers because we were just looking at mine with 80% crit rate and 40 low 40 attack. So he has he has more than 10k more attack than my Anpu, which is bonkers. I can get more attack on my Anpu, but not 255. So amazing stats here. Now, the numbers on the left are stats that are inherent to the hero. When you first get a hero, they have some base stats as far as crit damage and other things depending on the hero. Also, numbers that come from class tech, guild tech, trophies. All of these things are the numbers that you see on the left. Okay, so if you ever wonder how you read this screen, the ones on the left are trophies, guild, tech, all those other factors, and the ones on the right are from the equipment screen. And the number you're seeing here, 7 billion, is from a damage test that he did for me on Crimson Abyss. Okay, this is with his accuracy with just over 200% or 200 accuracy, and he did 7 billion damage. Now, if we compare that to his attack helm, this is what we are comparing is which is better, how much of a benefit really is it to stack some accuracy on your Anpu? Well, here we see that his Anpu and the accuracy is actually a little under 100, and he did 6.7 billion. Now, you might think, well, that's not much of a difference, and you would be right, except for a small detail, and that is that this 7 million damage that we saw previously, this run was actually about 10 seconds less. Okay, so he did a little bit more damage, but in less time. So if this fight were to have gone on another 10, 12 seconds, then the difference would be a little bit bigger. So as your Anpu progresses, becomes more powerful, then that accuracy makes a little bit more of a difference later on. Now again, no matter what, you need to make sure that you're stacking your attack. If on this build, for example, he has 200 accuracy, but he has 45k attack instead of 55, well, then these results would be much different. So don't just think I have to get to 200 accuracy. Think about what is realistic as far as accuracy while stacking my attack. The attack here, by the way, the difference is 10k. All right, if we look at his other build, and this has 65k attack. So only 10k more attack, and but with less than 100 accuracy. Okay, so if you can stack attack with your crit rate and you can get 200, beautiful. But if you can't, well, before we get to that, let's get into some other results from Mr. Benzo here, and we're going to PvP. I know there are videos out there of people showing Anpu in PvP, but I want to show you a true Anpu because this build is amazing, and I haven't seen any builds this good with stats these good. So here in this fight, he is going against other people in our guild that have really strong assassin teams. We're talking teams around 12 million or so. Okay, and we look at Daniel or Ampu's damage, sorry, at 37 million. My goodness, just killing, crushing everything. And this was fight against one person, and the next person that also has an extremely strong assassin team. Actually, both of these people, their assassin teams are on par with Benzo's assassin teams. They are quite stacked. And we see again with Ampu over 37 million. So absolutely devastating. The higher you can progress Ampu while keeping those stats high. Attack and attack more than anything and then get the other stats as you can. Crit rate also obviously is going to be important at this point. Okay, now what if you don't this access to this deadly gear. Maybe you don't even have any tempered surge gear at all. Well, let's take a look at the other end of the spectrum. Okay, so now what we are looking at here are two sets of surge, but non-tempered. So if you're just now acquiring surge set, you don't have tempering materials yet, or maybe you're new to the game, right? Maybe you do have some tempered, but energy is your favorite class, so you have all your best gear on Cariolis and Jaina. Okay, so now what does stats and damage look like with non-tempered attack? This is again from Crimson Abyss. This is from Crimson Abyss 20. And on the top we have a set with just over, a little bit over 100 accuracy, whereas the one on the bottom, again, this is too much accuracy, but this is what he has. And because he has 60 guild tech, so we're looking at 230, almost 240 accuracy on the bottom. Would love to trade some of that accuracy for attack. Attack difference is about 9k. Only 9k difference. Okay, I feel that the difference could be even more, but we are talking about non-tempered gear here. So if we compare damage with, this is with Perrin, by the way, with Perrin, the one on the top with less accuracy but more attack, does about 0.1 billion damage more. Okay, this is about a 12%, no, it's not 12%, I'm silly, about 8% increase of damage. Not a lot, but it's something. So if you're early on and you don't have good accuracy helms, do not worry about it. Stack as much attack as you can. You can, excuse me, you can see that he actually does more in the attack helm than he does with the accuracy set. Okay, again, because the set perhaps is a little low on attack. Now, if we go the third number is again Crimson Abyss 20, but now this is with Sorvely, and the damage flips. Okay, now the attack does a little bit less. So if you're putting him early on with Serverly, then he's going to do better in accuracy than with attack. Now, I don't know how viable that would be for new players nowadays, but it's information out there so that you know. Now, if we come over here, but anyway, the damage was always pretty similar. So again, if you don't have the accuracy, don't stress, just stack attack. Okay, the numbers are going to be similar either way. The further you go, the more that accuracy can play a role. The second number here is against stage 14 and Catosian Triangle. Just one of the early stages clearing to the boss, and wanted to show damage versus multiple mobs. Now there are moving parts here, enemies coming in and out of Anpu's range, so damage is going to fluctuate more. It's not just a stationary target. But here on the top we have with accuracy 230, 240 accuracy total with Guild Tech. He did 88.8 on the first run versus with attack helm 120. The second run 100 million with accuracy and 83 million with attack. So overall, between the two fights, he did 15 million more using attack helm versus the accuracy helm. Okay, so if you do not have accuracy early on, just go attack. In fact, it's better to go attack early on until you start tempering and really getting that attack up. Okay, once your attack starts to be high even with accuracy, that is when you will start really seeing his damage amp. Okay, so now that we have an idea of what kind of stats we need, depending on how good our gear is and how far along our Ampu is in potential, how do we find the gear? And I think this is a serious issue because I can't tell you how many times that I see a screenshot or someone in our guild sees a screenshot of a hero and they say you need more of this or more of that, and the person says I just don't have the gear. So But when I go in there, when I go into the account, I find the gear, okay, to at least improve what they have. So finding the proper gear seems to be an issue for a lot of heroes or a lot of players out there for their heroes. So let's look at how we can do that. I will show you my process. Perhaps you have your own. You can share in your in the comment sections. Okay, so the first thing I do is I select whichever is the set that that is most important. In this case, it is search, right? Maybe it's Marauder or Charge for other heroes, but in this case, search. Then what I do is I look at what are the most important substats. If you don't know how to use this, and this is maybe going to be something useful for you, you want to click on the Advanced tab on the secondary stats, and I select the most important stats for me. For me, it is going to be, again, we're looking at a high end Anpu here. It's going to be attack and crit rate. Okay, accuracy will be secondary. If I can get it, great. If I cannot, it's not going to be as much of a concern because I need to make sure that I stack my attack. Okay, so I want just the best of the best. So I just select, really, I've never gotten a piece hardly that's just all sevens. So I go with six. If that doesn't show any pieces, then I drop this down to five. Again, this is just going to show me the gear with the most amount of rolls of those pieces. So here we have a piece here that has 4 rolls total of crit rate with 1 roll of attack, and that gives me the 5 rolls. Okay, that's how that works. So I will select that, and then I will go to the next one, and I will go down to 4, and again I will see what my options are. So now I have more options here, and if Ampu, so which one of these I choose would depend on if Ampu is now going to be my main priority or if he is still secondary to a Jaina or Coriolis or someone like that that has the gear. So let's imagine, for imagination's sake, the Ampu is now going to be my main priority. I'm going to take this tempered set off of him unless I really need the crit rate. Then I would come back and get this piece. But I will go with this piece for now because you need your best gear on your best heroes. Okay, this is another big problem I see is people have gear on their Ravenna or Luke or some other old hero they used to use that they don't even use anymore, but they just don't take that piece off, right? But if they took that piece off that old hero, then their best heroes can be improved. So gear your best heroes with your best gear, and then go back and rebuild those other heroes with whatever is left over. Okay, that is important, guys. So here, great piece for attack, a little bit of crit damage. Would really love for that to be crit rate, but it's not. So we're going to go with this piece for now. One is tempered. Second, it has amazing attack. But again, if we need the crit rate, we have this option here. If we need the crit rate, we have this option here to help us out. Okay, and then I just go through and I do this for each piece until I have 6 pieces selected. Now, I look to replace my weakest pieces, okay, with the stats that with other sets. So my crit rate is perfect, assuming that I am A7 or A6 or higher, and I have something on a commander. I'm still going to get 100% crit rate, so that would be amazing. What I'm lacking is attack in this, and if I can get it, accuracy. Okay, so now I'm going to come in here, and the sets that are going to give me those two um, stats that I most need now are Hero and Hawkeye. Okay, because attack and accuracy is most what I would want to build at this point. So now I look to see replacing two pieces, what is going to give me the best overall stats? And I just go through again. If I can change this now because that's way too many options, right? I'm going to start over the process and look for what is going to get me the best complement to the surge pieces that I have. Okay, and even though these pieces are surge, I will look to see if I can replace one of these also if it's going to be much better for me. And then I could change out one of these to a surge piece. So if we look at this, it just is it worth the change? So here we have 11-2 versus 10-8 attack. So this would not be worth the change. It does have crit rate, but remember, we do have crit rate options on a couple other pieces of um, surge if I need it. Okay, so nothing really stands out there for replacing. So then I go down to the next one. And I just do the same process, guys. I'm not going to take up your time. But I do the same process to see which pieces I can switch out. All right, and that's how I select my new sets. And maybe I'm looking for something in the future. I will just show you this real quick if it will let me back out. And so on my assassins, on my Dominic, this is my current Dominic as he is, or as he was. Yes, as he is. That was crazy. But there is another Dominic that I am working on. So here you see these tabs, Future Dom, Future Ampu, and these are the best main uh, pieces that I have for them at the moment. So here, uh, these are just some options that I found if I don't take pieces from other people. Okay, and so this is what I'm thinking about for the future. In the future, I will take that piece off Nord. And what I'm looking to do here is to get a build using crit damage, but I am lacking the complementary set. So I will continue to use his main set, but I will always be looking to see if I can finish off this set with the complementary pieces that I'm looking for. So here what I am needing is obviously I need to get enough crit rate that with my commanders and so forth that he gets 100%. And the other thing that I need is to improve his attack. My other build has 61k attack, so in this one, so far playing around, I can get 58 K attack. That is the best I can do, but my crit rate I think is 95%, not 100. So I will just keep this here and I will continue. I will from time to time check back to see if I can build that. That again is for a future build. So that is another thing that I do so that I'm always looking to upgrade my best heroes. So just keep that in mind. And this is again value of presets. And until I need that piece from Nord, then it will stay on Nord. But when the time comes, I will take it off Nord to complete this set, and I will look to rebuild Nord with something different. Okay, so that is a little bit of how to find the best pieces in sets for your heroes. I hope that this is beneficial to you. If it is, hit the like and subscribe so that these videos are worthwhile to do. And until next time, ciao for now.